Right guys, hello, so another video with more Lightgun game goodness. This time I'm going to use virtual desktop. So those of you interested in seeing the action, remember this is a video, you've got the luxury to fast forward, get to the good stuff. But as always, there's some stuff I do want to talk about first. So many of you might have seen the videos I've already done using EMU VR to do Lightgun games. So we should just point out, I did quite a bit to try and help the developer with the light gun side of things and found issues with reloading. So that has now had an update to fix those issues. Very good software. It's free. You've got to supply the retro games yourself, but it's well worth checking out, putting a little bit of time in to get that working. So we've got new Retro Arcade Neon there. I've done videos on that as well. That does cost money. It is a sandbox. You need to set it up yourself. So I've got a virtual reality arcade. All these arcade cabinets, they look authentic. You can see the games playing and we can go up to them, play the games. And that does have a light gun cabinet. But the thing is, it does take setting up and you don't really want to be swapping stuff out too much. So it's really a set it and forget it kind of deal. But what these two programs do have in common is behind the scenes, it is using RetroArch to play the games. That is what enables the geek black magic for us to do emulation, get our computer to pretend to be systems from days gone by. So in EMU VR, I think I've got about 210 games, light gun games, spanning all sorts of consoles, the PlayStation, the Dreamcast, the NES. You do Duck Hunt, classic arcade games, MAME, multiple arcade machine emulator. So as awesome as that is, we are limited by the games that are compatible in RetroArch. And there's many, many more games I wanted to do, which I obviously couldn't because RetroArch wouldn't play them, which was unfortunate. So that's why I'm going to use virtual desktop. I've been on this mission. I've got the Rift S headset, but I want to get the most value out of it. And I do love light gun games, and you can see the controller that we get with it. It's a pistol grip. It basically works as an air mouse. So I'm like, well, surely I can do light gun games. I don't need to go out and buy light guns. We can get even more value out of the headset. So I've had to buy this virtual desktop software to fully unleash the potential. So she would probably explain what a virtual desktop is to help people out. So I've got the headset on and I'm in the 360 environment. I can look around, but I have this virtual monitor in front of me. Now, in real life, I have a 32-inch panel. So that's quite big. With this headset on, the screen I'm looking at in front of me is bigger than that. And it could be even bigger. I could be like in a cinema, have a huge screen. So very cool software. You'll find it on the Steam store. It is on the Oculus store. You will notice in reviews, though, that people say, don't buy it. It's a rip-off. You don't need it. There's big screen beta, which is absolutely free. If you have an Oculus headset like the Rift S, that has virtual desktop functionality built in its own software. So don't buy virtual desktop. We'll just explain why I have. So as much as I love big screen beta, see it says cinema update. So they did a deal with Paramount. You can buy cinema tickets. You can watch 3D movies, normal 2D movies. You can supply your own movies to watch. Basically get a virtual cinema. Very cool software. So technically, yes, you could play your games on that cinema screen. But there is an issue in that there's latency, lag, delay, which is not good when we want to play games. So it's great software. I love it for what it is, but we need to use all of this software to its strength. So yes, I got the Rift S that has virtual desktop functionality built in, and I do use that. So rather than have these stormtroopers threatening me, what I can do is have the pass-through camera active as the background, so I can see what's in the room. I'm no longer blind. It's not virtual reality. It becomes augmented reality. I see people in the room. I'm not disconnected, but I still have the panel in front of me. So now you can watch a movie on my 32-inch panel. I get the luxury of having the headset on, and I can have a screen as big as I like. But I can still see them, still talk to them, see if they're nicking my sweets or trying to nick my smokes, and tell them to stop. So again, that really does have lag, latency, delay if we try to play games. Now, I'm not saying virtual desktop is lag free, but it is much, much, much better. So I know this because I've tried. So I wouldn't have paid the money if I didn't have to. So we can see that's running at the moment. So the next issue that I have is I need to be able to load these games up. EMU VR and new Retro Arcade Neon, I really see as really flash front ends, ways to catalog, show off, and play the games. But if I'm in virtual desktop, it's not a front end. So how am I going to play the games? Well, before I had the VR headset, for many years, I put a lot of time into setting up Hyperspin, which is the granddaddy of front ends. So now we've got stuff like Launchbox, a track mode. There's many front ends to catalog, show off your games and play them. So you use what suits you. But in this video, I'm going to show off Hyperspin because that's what I've got. So normally I would use my voice to load up the software, but I don't want to trigger your computers at home. So we'll just use the shortcut on my taskbar. There we go. Just skip the intro.
Hello, Hano. Daphne.
So no, I don't want Daphne. What I want is Daphne Singe to do the American laser games.
Daphne Singe wheel selected. Crime Patrol. Starting Crime Patrol.
2343.
Shoot to choose a location.
1057, armed robbery at that location.
10-4. Let's kick some butt. Everybody freeze! And to think you could have been somebody.
So I let him shoot me so you can see the corny acting.
10-4. Let's kick some butt.
You see the cursor moves well.
Everybody freeze! Freeze, sucker!
I give up! Don't shoot me!
Shoot to choose a location.
So the other thing I should mention, the developer for Virtual Desktop, he bound the B button to be right click, which is very useful because for some games that's reload or use an item like grenade. It really does depend on the game.
Crime Patrol 2, Drug Wars.
Load up the sequel.
Starting Crime Patrol 2, Drug Wars.
The director says, take some target practice.
Down here, we just call shooting like that bad.
They're dealing dope in this bar. What do you say we buy these guys a six-pack?
Please don't!
First two shots are on ice.
Guess he had one too many.
Actually, he's had just enough.
That looked so much fun.
It's got Mad Dog McCree. I'm pretty sure it was a Commodore Amiga that was in the arcade playing this game. Remember that back in the day.
Mad Dog MC Cree 2, The Lost Gold. Ninja. Space Pirates. The Last Bounty Hunter.
So yeah, the games are a little bit cheesy, but you know, they're from the early 90s. You know what do you expect? So I don't want the video to run on too long. So okay, I've got all of these wheels. I could, you know, play pretty much anything I wanted. There's the Sega Model 2, Sega Model 3. They've got Lightgun games. I can pretty much do whatever I want. Unfortunately, there's one thing that I do want to show off that I can't, and that is the really modern Lightgun games. So people don't realize this, but modern arcade machines are gaming PCs. So if you've seen the video I did with Star Wars Battle Pod, if you go to the arcade, that is a Intel i5 Ivy Bridge computer with an NVIDIA 680 graphics card in it. That's not really emulation. We already own gaming PCs, so you'll hear about arcade loaders to load those games. So the stuff you need to Google, read up on is like TechnoParrot, Game Loader RH, JConfig, stuff like that, to play the arcade rips. We're not emulating, we already own a gaming PC. So the issue I have, I can play these games in virtual desktop, but I cannot get the OBS software to capture the footage. It will show the environment I'm in, but the screen in front of me stays black. You can hear what I'm shooting, but you can't see it. And that's a real shame because there's some very good looking games like Sega's Golden Gun, House of the Dead 4, and Transformers Human Alliance, to name a few. So a bit disappointing I can't show those off, but it is what it is. If I figure out a way to get it working, then I'll do another video. But we'll leave it there, guys. Have a great day. Have a great evening, whatever it is you choose to do after watching this. And I'll see you all when I see you next. Ciao for now.